and welcome back again, Bots and Bits fans, to another episode of Today we're taking a look at the Mechfans Toys F01 Overlord in their air set. This is of course their oversized version of the DX9 Stormtrooper series. How oversized, you ask? Well, not very. Mechfans Toys typically only oversize their bots these days by about the 2cm mark, but in jet mode we have 17.5 centimeters nose to tail, so not too big. While I'm just doing sizes, here he is next to the Hasbro, so not quite the same size, but getting pretty close. Before we check out these guys any further, let's just take a quick look at the box. We all hate the boxes, but this artwork looks custom and looks amazing. Check that out. I wonder where that's from. On the back, just got some shitty pictures. Now this box is pretty big. I got these and the cone heads at the same time, and I did find shipping to be quite expensive just because of the size of the box. Anyway, so moving on down to the accessories, and that's all we get. Just some instructions. I mean, we do also get the null rays and the laser cannons, or whatever you want to call them, but really all we get is some instructions. It has your basic instructions there like that, and then on the back it just has a couple of notes, so like the head position when transforming it, and just something quickly about the cone heads. So that's it. Back up to these guys. Alright, so we'll have a good look at Starscream first. Now these guys, their jet mode all tabs in really securely. There's like no flop, there's no looseness, nothing. This is all very solid. The only problem I'm finding with this is I feel like these are quite weak. They haven't broken, there's no stress marks or anything yet, but just they come like that. When you're flicking them up, it just I'm just feeling a bit of tension there. Nothing concrete holding them in, and it's just very thin. That's just a concern I have that's not really based on anything. Alright, so colours look pretty good. It is just a solid grey plastic, blue plastic on the tail fins, bit of silver, bit of red there, which is done amazing. Same with the wings here, bit of red, bit of silver. There's no chips, there's no dirt, nothing. Plastic on the cockpit looks pretty good. I don't think... No, the cockpit doesn't open. Nice amount of silver paint on there, that's all in the lines underneath. All looks just as good. Again, all holds together really well. And there's the null rays. Now the null rays don't have any paint on them at all, which is the DX9, I think Starscream and Thundercracker had silver paint on some of the details. These ones don't have any. So onto Thundercracker, same deal, consistent, all holds in together really well. Plastic all still looks great. A lot of silver paint detail in there. These are just little bolts holding onto these hinges, but some silver detail up there. These stripes are just as neat, just as tidy as on Starscream, and the same on the tail. That red is very vibrant, check that out. Looks good. I do like this bright blue that they've gone with, but I wish they would have stuck with the DX9 colour, which was a little bit on the lighter side. I'm a big fan of that, but that's just my personal opinion. Again, no silver paint on the null rays, silver paint on the body and that sort of stuff. We'll cover all that in bot mode. And then onto my personal favourite, Skywalk. And he just looks fantastic, doesn't he? Look at that. I'm digging that. The cockpit looks a little bit more cloudier than the other ones, but I'm not too fussed. The silver detail on there is still fine. Silver detail on here is all in the lines and done nicely. Same with these stripes here. Look at that purple. Look at that purple stripe sticking out. No scratches, no chips, nothing. I do find that the plastic seems a little bit dirty, prone to fingerprints and those sorts of things. But yeah, apart from that, just a single black stripe on the tail fin there. I didn't mention it on the other two, but I'll mention it now. You've got this little section here on the wrist as landing gear, and then you can just pull these kneecaps down, and you've got your three wheels for the landing gear. Doesn't look the prettiest, but it does the job. So, and again, no painted detail on those null rays or cannons, whatever you want to call them. Alright, let's get one of them transformed at least, and we'll take a look at their bot modes. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is take these null rays off, which I did forget to mention. These null rays tab into the wings really well. I know there was some inconsistencies when it comes to the DX9 in that regards. So first I'm going to fold these down and just bring them to the side like that, and then I'm going to untab this section and just bring it up out of the way, and then separate these legs. Then I'm going to grab hold of these thrusters like that to pull the feet out, just like that. And then this section has a double hinge, so just sort of lever it out a little bit and bring it around. It's quite tight. Bring it around like that, come on. Very tight. And then like that. And that's it, that's the legs done. These little shoulder intake bits, they've got tabs. They're not the most secure and they're quite thin. So this one's got a pretty good tab right there. But this one, I think it's already starting to wear off. So, see, look, it's just sort of sitting there. Whereas this one will tab in. It's a very, very thin bit of plastic. Bring this away and bring them all the way back, just like that. And then just wiggle this shoulder out, like that. And then bring this arm out and work it up and around. And then just rotate the ball socket. Bring this hand out, and you can see we're getting close to being finished already. Fold the nose cone around, bring this around into the chest, and then we can bring these shoulder sections back. Bring this double hinge all the way back around. That's a bit tight. Fold this head over, and then the head's on a metal sliding pin. So we're just going to wiggle that forward if it wants to. That's pretty tight. It does not want to. There we go, got it. Sit his head there. Now we're going to bring this down with this section here. Just fold that up and bring that all inside and around like that. So bring it down, around like that, fold it over, and just sit it there on his backpack, just like that. And that is Starscream done, all transformed. Now just grab his null rays, plug them into the side of his arms. So that is a nice snug fit as well. I'll get the other two transformed up and we'll take a good look. So there they all are in their bot mode, all transformed up. Now, while they do look great, I am having some issues. But before we get into that, let's just show a size comparison. Hasbro Thundercracker there. Mechfans Toys Megatron. Hot Soldiers Soundwave. Iron Factory Sideswipe. Alright, now, onto these guys. They're pretty good, but they're not great. The problem that I'm having with Starscream is just that and that head and just this tab. Just, it's a minor thing that coming up. I mean, like, you manipulate the arm, it comes up. You just push it back down again, no big deal. But it is still a minor annoyance. But that bothers me. This backpack is fine. The backpack itself, all of these hinges are nice and tight, holds it in fine. All of these are actually quite tight. They're not really, I mean, they do move around a little bit, but not enough to make it take points away from this guy. As far as the rest of the articulation goes, shoulder ball sockets here are nice and tight, nice and stiff. You get really good range of motion. It's not limited at all, except in the usual way when it comes to hitting the wing. The shoulder ball socket, nice and stiff as well. Same, you get the swivel there, that's quite tight. But it does allow it, there's nothing, no problem there. No wrist swivel at all. This side is just as consistent. Then we go down to the legs. The hips, they are nice and stiff, nice and tight. Same with the thigh swivel, which is really, really stiff. Really stiff, but still good. You get a really good bend on the knee, which is nice and tight. It is just a pin joint on that knee, but still very, very nice and tight. And also this pin joint here on the feet, that's nice and stiff as well. And this ball socket holding the thrusters, again, nice and stiff. I do find that a lot of the stability standing up comes from the thruster, not so much from the toe. So when you're positioning it, it does get a little bit back heavy, even though he's not really that back heavy. He's very straight up and down, but you just got to sort of position the toes forward a bit. If you position them how you would think that they are meant to be positioned, he just... See, it's a little bit to do with the base, but look, I've got him on a flat. See, fall over quite easily. So you got to sort of bring it back a bit, tilt the foot forward a bit more. It's not really how you would imagine you would get stability from looking at it, but it's the way that it works. But still, a little back heavy. All right, so that's Starscream. All right, on the Skywarp, his joints are all the same, except this one, that side clicks in a little bit better. He does have the better shoulder tabs of the three, but yeah, all the joints are consistent throughout, nice and stiff, nice and tight, all very good, all very posable. Null rays hold in really well. Torso, same deal. Head's a little bit, oh, what have I done? Oh, something's come out. I've broken something. That looks like I've broken it off of that. Oh, there we go. It's just fallen off this little hinge. You see that? Yeah, okay. So that's just come off of this section in here. It looks like it was just sitting there. It was never actually glued on, so it's just I've just wiggled it out, given it a flick. I'll fix that later on. And then on to Thundercracker, same deal. Wobbly torso, head doesn't really, it's a little bit loose. But apart from that, paint on the face is done pretty well. Again, we've got the same coloured plastic head as Starscream. Same deal with these tabs. That one sounds like it tabs in, but it doesn't. And that one doesn't at all. All the joints are just exactly the same as Starscream and Skywarp. So I'm pretty happy with the consistency in the joints at least. Now when it comes to the paint on this set, it's not bad. You've already seen the stripe work while in jet mode. There's not really much other paint on here. On the toe, got some silver in there, but we've got like a injection point. See that circle? Another one there. And it's the same on Skywalk. This torso piece here is all silver, like painted silver, with blue paint put over the top of it. So we can see this is the blue paint that they've added, and they haven't added it all the way to the edge. So we've got a pretty shitty line along the bottom and up the inside there. No extra paint detail inside these turbine intake areas sort of things. This is grey paint here on blue plastic, and they've gone out of the lines. It's a little bit fuzzy, but other than that, there's no dirt or chips or anything in that one. Silver paint on the hips is, yeah, you know, it's consistent. I know the DX9 had this coloured intakes as well, but I would have preferred if that was a different colour, especially on Skywarp. I think that looks a little bit lame. But anyway, up to the face. Silver paint on the face is done amazing, and the red eyes are just done fantastic as well. I'm not sure if you're seeing that. They just look, they're very vibrant, very awesome. Yeah, good. Starscream, his face, he's got a slightly darker metallic paint on his face, but his eyes are exactly the same. Same plastic as well. He's a little bit different. He is red plastic with the silver done on the obliques here, and got some silver detail on his intakes, and that is all in the lines. His paint is done really well. Blue paint on the shins here, little bleeding all the way around the edges, both sides, but at least it's consistent, I guess. Silver paint here with the injection points visible, and that's it for the paint. Skywarp, same deal as Thundercracker, all silver torso and hips with the black paint painted on his obliques. A little bit better than Thundercracker, but still missing paint down the bottom here, bottom there. Face is done very consistent, just like the other two. Bright silver with those bright red eyes, which look excellent. Pretty sure they've all got the same yeah, look. I know DX9, I think Starscream had a different expression or something along those lines. These guys all have the exact same face. Purple paint down here. The bleeding from the purple paint is much more noticeable on this guy because it's over black. So you've got a whole heap of paint just down there and down there. Same on this side. Silver there has the injection points as well. But apart from that, yeah, looks good. Looks really good. Alright guys, so final thoughts wise, is it worth it and should you buy it? I'm going to say, yeah, I guess so. At between $40 and $50 delivered from most sellers. What do they work out to be, like $16 each? I think that's pretty reasonable. I think these guys are priced according to their quality. Plastic feels really good, joints all feel really good, they're all really stiff. Paint, on the other hand, well, there isn't much of it, and what is done averagely. Not good, not bad, just averagely. A little disappointing to see that they all have the exact same face, and I was also a little bit disappointed in the stability issues I had in bot mode while trying to pose them. I don't know if the DX9 had the same issues, maybe because these are taller and weigh more, they just needed a little bit more, they needed something in the heels, or something in the feet, or just something to help them stand up, because these guys will fall over if you sneeze in the same room as them. And that's it. Now, if you like this video and you enjoy what I'm doing, please like and subscribe to my channel. Remember to check out my Facebook for daily news and updates on KO and third-party stuff. I have an Instagram account, #bots and bits, all one word. And as always, guys, thank you very much for your time, and thanks for watching.